Hey rhythm guitar rockers, this is Mark Turco from rhythmguitarlessons.net, and today I have a video for you about using chord inversions. You may have heard of this term before, you don't know what it is. Not a problem, I'm going to explain it to you. If you know bar chords, the 6-string bar chord shapes and the 5-string bar chord shapes, you can actually already play inversions and you may not even know it. So an A minor chord, for example, is a triad. It has an A note, a C note, and an E note in it. There could be multiples of each one of those notes. There could be octaves, but there's only 3 unique named notes in it. So all in a chord inversion is that we're going to not always have the A note be the lowest sounding note of the chord. We could have the C note be the lowest sounding note of the chord, or we could have our E be the lowest pitched note in the chord. That's all a chord inversion is. So root position would be, in our example with the A minor, the A note would be the lowest pitched note. The first inversion would be where the C note is the lowest pitch in the A minor chord. And then the second inversion is where your E note is the lowest pitch in the A minor chord. So we're going to take some bar chord shapes, and instead of playing all through 6 strings, we're going to just chop that up, and there's already chord inversions that exist within your bar chord shapes. We just need to make sure that we start on the correct note that we want to. So in this example, I'm going to take a 5-string E minor bar chord shape starting on the 7th fret. So going from the 5th string down to the 1st string, my root note, the 5, a root note, the minor 3rd, and then the 5 again. So instead of starting on the 5th string on my E, I'm actually going to start on the D string on the 9th fret. And I'm only going to play the notes that occur on strings 4, 3, and 2. So that is a second inversion E minor chord. I'm only playing strings 2, 3, and 4. That's all. Okay? So now we're going to take a 6-string version of a major chord, and we're going to start on the 7th fret also. That's a B major chord. Okay? So I'm going to play the same exact strings, but the way that it works out is on strings 4, 3, and 2, I'm only going to play those notes. So that's my root, my major 3rd, and my 5th. So that's a root position B chord. That sounds like a B major chord. The next chord that we're going to do is we're going to take part of a D major bar chord, strings 2, 3, and 4. All of those are going to be on my 7th fret. But instead of moving my whole hand here, I'm actually just going to take my 1st finger and I'm going to put it right there. So that also is a second inversion major bar chord because I'm starting with the 5 of the chord to the 1 to the major 3rd. The next chord that we're going to do, this G major chord, and that's like the C shape, but in a bar chord format. So my pinky would be on the 10th fret, ring finger on the 9th fret, 1st finger barring across the 7th fret, and my middle finger will be on the 8th fret. Now I'm also going to play the same strings, but I'm not going to make the whole chord. So it's going to be just those 3 notes, strings 2, 3, and 4. So without even having to move my hand around, I could play all 4 chords using different chord inversions actually in the same location. Here's my E minor. Here's my B major. Here is my G major. And here is my D major. If I were to take those 4 chords, play them in the order that I have been playing them in, but I continuously played them and arpeggiated them, we can come up with something cool like this. So if you notice, the very lowest pitched note that I play with the E minor is on the 9th fret on my D string. The same exact note is the lowest pitched note for my B major. And then the same exact note is the same note for my G major. So those 3 chords share all the same note. Piano players use it all the time. Guitar players don't use it as much. And then the only time that we change the pitch of the lowest note is when we go to the D major chord. That's on the 7th fret of your D string. Here it is again, one more time. Listen for that lowest pitch note. That's why chord inversions are very cool things. You could do interesting things like that, and I didn't change the lowest pitched note, but it still sounded like the chord change that your ear expects to hear. So just a quick recap. Remember that chord inversions aren't these crazy complex things. If you know how to play bar chords, you actually already know how to play some chord inversion shapes. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and hit the notifications bell. Tell me in the comments section what topics you want me to make videos on. Remember, always have fun with your guitar, and I'll see you next time. If you like that video, you're going to love this brand new e-guide that's totally free. The link is in this video's description, or you can go to rhythmguitarlessons.net/P, lowercase r, lowercase o.